My Sicilian crime boss boyfriend, Dante Volkov, and I had been together for 10 years. I shielded him from Blades 99 times. On the 100th time, he was finally moved. He decided to go straight and immigrate to the US to marry me. But on the day we were supposed to leave, he suddenly tore up the immigration papers. He wanted to stay with that woman who always timidly clung to his side, Willow. One of his men cautiously asked, "What about Sarah? Didn't you two agree to go to the US and start fresh, under new identities, after you went straight?" It was as if he just remembered. He slowly flicked ash from his cigarette, saying casually, "So what? Her life belongs to me. Without me, she would have been torn apart by rivals long ago. She'll come around once she knows I've changed my mind. She'll have no choice but to stay." My nails dug deep into my palms, barely stopping myself from crying. That night, I destroyed all the secret codes and signals related to him, as if I had never known him. I didn't stop my plans to immigrate. He didn't know. I had walked through a decade of blood and chaos with him, but going straight, going overseas, was the only path I had chosen for myself to survive. He used to be my whole world, but now, I didn't want him anymore. One of his men saw me to the car, asking my destination several times, but I didn't hear him. I remembered earlier, how I had excitedly gone to Dante, lunchbox in hand, ready to tell him our flight was booked. Instead, I overheard his conversation with Leo, his subordinate. "Are you really not going to the US, boss? What about Sarah?" Dante glanced at him lazily. "Go subtly hint at it. What if Sarah ignores me?" The tip of his cigarette glowed on and off. He flicked the ash impatiently. "A woman who constantly worries about my safety, who even personally makes me something as simple as porridge. How could she bear to miss your hint? A woman like Sarah, I just have to beckon, and she'll come running." As he spoke, he couldn't help but chuckle. Leo joked, "Boss, you're amazing. You can even train a woman like Sarah to be like a puppy. You should teach me your dating skills." Dante crossed his long legs, his impatience growing. "A woman like Sarah is too much drama. If you date someone like that, you'll have hell to pay." I looked at the two blisters on my hand from the scorching rice cooker and couldn't help but laugh out loud. He rubbed the old-fashioned lighter in his hand, his expression somewhat strained. "Leo, Willow's condition requires very specific care, resources for which aren't easily found in the US. If I leave, she'll be all alone. I can't bear to abandon her." In that instant, I felt like I'd fallen into an ice cavern. I turned off my phone, the flight information still on the screen, and walked away. It took me a while to find my voice again. "Take me home." Volkov Enterprises' towering headquarters sped past the car window, but my heart felt like it was still back there. In my mind, I made countless excuses for him. It was just a trick to fool his men, to keep our travel plans secret and avoid rivals. I locked myself in my room for 4 days straight. I blocked all of his men's contacts, pretending nothing had happened. He hadn't come home either. Until today, when Dante suddenly asked me to meet him at the cigar lounge where we first met. I thought, I had shielded him from the indiscriminate Blades 100 times. If he would just be honest, I would forgive him. After following him through life and death situations for 10 years, I wasn't ready to let go. The cigar lounge was filled with the scent of various tobaccos. When I realized something was wrong, a man in a black coat had been staring at me for a long time, the cold gleam of a blade flickering from his sleeve. It was only thanks to my 100 experiences with injury and a strong survival instinct that I managed to escape alive. When I staggered back to Dante's office door, clutching my bleeding right arm, I saw my crime boss boyfriend sitting behind his desk, allowing Willow to playfully mess with him. He was smiling gently as she pulled at his meticulously tailored black suit. His long, well-defined fingers lovingly stroked Willow's hair. Outside, blades flashed and blood stained the streets, but inside, it was peaceful and tender. The girl's face was flushed with an unnatural color. "Dante, I'm scared. You gave up going to the US for me. Is it really worth it? If Sarah finds out, will she hate me?" she whimpered, her voice shaky with worry. Unable to take it anymore, I twisted the doorknob, intending to storm in and confront him. Dante's voice, nonchalant yet chillingly cruel, was colder than snow. "Sarah? She's just an accountant for my family. What difference does it make where she goes? She'll still be crunching numbers. Willow, your health isn't good. The US doesn't have the specific resources for your treatment. How could I bear to leave you here alone?" I froze, my heart feeling as if a dagger had been plunged straight through it, a cold wind sweeping through my limbs, making me tremble with pain. Watching Dante bring the cigarette to Willow's lips, a wave of nausea suddenly rose in my stomach. I first met Dante at that cigar lounge. I'd once asked him for a cigarette. He flicked his expensive lighter, the flame dancing between his fingers. He gave me a nonchalant glance, pulled one from his pocket, and handed it to me. I held it, smiling as I leaned toward his fingers. "Lend me a light." Watching the smoke curl from my lips, he chuckled, then took the cigarette from my mouth, took a drag himself. Through the haze of smoke, he asked, "What's your name?" At the time, I was just a young accountant. I had no idea what price this impulsive attraction would demand, nor did I know that question would lead to 100 scars on my body. Later, he considered sharing a cigarette to be a form of foreplay. When we were lost in those intimate moments, he'd hold me on his lap, kissing me deeply, nicotine acting as the perfect aphrodisiac. But that was actually my first time smoking. I hated tobacco, but because it was him, I was willing to endure it. Willow's delicate cough pulled me back to reality. She was choking, her face flushed, coughing so hard she couldn't stand straight. "Willow, how can you be my woman if you can't even handle a little smoke?" Dante's eyes were full of tenderness and amusement, completely devoid of any coldness or anger. What was this? What I saw as unique and irreplaceable, Dante offered casually to anyone. What I painstakingly strove for and couldn't attain, Willow received effortlessly. Watching Willow's playful, pouting antics, I suddenly felt that this never-equal relationship could finally end. On my way home, I received a call from the airline. "Mr. Volkov's flight information hasn't been confirmed yet. Ms. Sarah, do you plan to board alone?" I didn't hesitate. Yes. Dante and his men all believed that I had been with him through thick and thin for 10 years, loved him for 10 years, and could never leave him. But they didn't know that going straight and moving to the US wasn't just about starting over with him. I had 2 other, non-negotiable reasons to go. Since he had already made his choice, embarking on a different path from me, why should I insist on walking with him? That night, a strong pair of arms pulled me into a hard, warm embrace. "Sarah, I had a document to sign this evening." You didn't wait too long, did you?" Seeing I didn't speak, he sighed, lifting his hand to trace my lips. "Baby, I knew you wouldn't have the patience to wait for me. The first time I saw you, I knew you weren't the easygoing type, you were impulsive." He leaned closer, his unique scent filling my nostrils. I couldn't take it anymore and pushed him away. "Were you there? How do you know I didn't wait?" I turned on the light, revealing the still bleeding scar on my arm. "Dante, this is the 101st scar I've gotten because of you." He glanced at it, the tenderness in his eyes fading as he explained, exasperated. "I received intel, and I was actually planning to come find you, but Willow arrived. I couldn't let them know about Willow's existence. Her body is weak, she couldn't handle an assassination attempt. So I could handle it. Is that what you're saying?" That man today was clearly well prepared. scared. Your movements were leaked, and to protect the pure happiness of the girl you loved, I was the one who paid the price. Do you have any idea, if Leo hadn't arrived today, I would have lost an arm there. He froze, clearly not expecting me to lash out at him. His voice turned cold. Sarah, that's enough. You've already shielded me from 100 assassination attempts, and you're perfectly fine, aren't you? His shamelessness left me speechless. Dante once said that Willow was like a pristine jasmine in the mountains, different from people like us who live by the blade. As the Volkov family's accountant, I knew too many things that couldn't be discussed openly. Constantly by Dante's side, dangers were countless, and injuries were commonplace. I shielded Dante from blades, and gradually, I shielded Willow from blades too. My scars healed, only to be replaced by new ones. The longest scar stretched from my waist to my shoulder. Dante was finally moved by me and promised to get engaged. As a Sicilian crime boss, I am absolutely loyal to my family and my woman. Willow isn't a threat to you. Why are you being so dramatic? Dante, do we even have a family? He frowned in annoyance. Sarah, isn't our engagement party next month? What are you playing at? He seemed to have forgotten that the prerequisite for our engagement was him going straight and moving to the US with me. Me playing? Dante, you must have forgotten. The phone rang abruptly, a sweet female voice coming from the receiver. Big brother Dante, I can't sleep. Dante slowly lifted his eyes to look at me, then gently coaxed her. I scoffed and got out of bed, but he hung up the phone and grabbed my arm.